How's it going, Sha?
Oh, you know what? Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am curious though. What is your stance on parallel parking? Right, like how 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 far ahead can the car that's going to parallel park be and still claim the spot?
Okay. Well, I, s- I will say this because I learned to drive in a place where parallel parking was not that serious, not
Okay.
that hardcore, right?
Okay.
I'm from the land of parking lots.
Oh,
Um,
right. You right. Okay.
so that's usually where all the drama was. But as far as parallel parking goes, I think I have two schools of thought. One, in order to correctly parallel park, there's a trick that an ex taught me, um, and that is to line up your side view mirror with the side view mirror of the car that's in front of the space, right?
Right.
And then you cut it back and cut it over. I'm good at that. I absolutely can do that. I can't do it on the driver's side because there aren't as many one way like situations as
Okay.
there are as there are here in New York, but I can fake it. I can get into one. I prefer to I mean, it's harder. It's because that's what I'm used to. I would like to just kind of pull up and then get in there. But the issue is if you pull up to line up your mirrors, some people you've cleared the space maybe. Maybe the
Right.
tail, yeah. So that gives someone the room to kind of pull in. So I feel like if that is how you parallel park, you got to move very fast,
Right.
right? Because I can see if you're also blinkers are your friends. Turn on a signal,
Yeah.
let people know this is your intent. Um and just try to move as quickly as possible when you're backing into that space. If you pull in, I get pulling in, but like if I ever pull into a spot, there's so much space that I'm pulling in and then I'm going to do the 24-point adjustment to get it lined up to the curb, right? Or I'm pulling in and up far enough that when I back up, I can get it in the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
There's already space, I think. But when it's like a tight thing like that, I prefer to back in, but I know you got to do that quickly. But that's why I rely on that mirror trick because I know with the mirror trick, I know I'm going to get it more often than not. Than if I only pull up like half away and the back of my car is already kind of in the space and I'm going to try to cut over. I'm not going to get it. And now I'm doing like a 57-point turn to get into that space. And it's not, I don't want to do that. I want to whip it in. I want to whip it in.
Yeah.
I want to whip it in while understanding that the way that I line that up could leave it open. So I need to be as fast and efficient as possible.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. I don't know what the rule is on these New York streets because one, I've only driven in New York once.
Right.
And so I don't know how I don't have a sense as to how everyone moves.
Right.
What's the law? What's the rule? What's the rule of street?
So I agree with your parking idea. I
Mhm.
feel like to parallel park correctly, you need to be roughly parallel to the car in front of the space to
Right.
start.
Yeah.
So if you are further than that,
Mhm.
you're no longer at the spot.
Once you've gone beyond the mirrors lining up, then I don't know
Right.
what
It's not
yeah.
you anymore.
Right.
So we did a show together.
Mhm.
I show up on time for the show. I know I'm gonna look for parking. I
Mhm.
find a spot.
Mhm.
And I become, I would say, a little more than parallel to the empty spot now, and I'm attempting to get parallel to the car
Right.
that is in front of the spot. I get to about that. My bumper is parallel with their rear wheel, with their
Okay.
rear tire,
Right.
and a car reverses, taking up the other 3/4 of the car.
Uh-huh.
And then he says, hey, I was on park there. And I said, well, I'm going to park there now. And he said, nah, like, that's my spot. I said, it can't be because I'm here. Like,
right. So he was in front of you?
He was parallel to the car in front of the car that was in front of the spot. So I'm like, you're too far up.
2 cars up.
Yeah. I'm like,
oh, no, you lost that spot.
You lost the spot, my G.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then he gets out the car and he's like, yo, you know, there's other spots. I'm like, yeah, like, good luck. You know? And he starts walking back, and then it hit him that, like, that didn't go the way he wanted. So he comes back and he's like, nah, like, I was parking here. I was like, but I'm parking here now. Like, I'm literally more in the spot than out the spot at this point.
Right. Yeah.
You're nowhere near the spot. And I was like, if I really want to, I could park already. I'm just, you know, move forward so it's not annoying. But he's like, nah, that's my spot. I was like, well, I'm not going anywhere. He's like, well, I'm not going anywhere. So he goes back in his car. Mm-hmm. So I raise my window and then turn off my car. And then he comes back out the car again and he's like, yo, I'm too old for this. And I was like, if you gotta announce it, you not. You know? And he's like, you know there's other spots. I was like, you keep telling me, but you don't go look for them. You know? So he's getting tight. And I'm like, I'm trying to match his energy. And he's like, I told you, I was parallel. I was here. I was gonna back up into the spot. I was like, but I'm gonna back up into the spot. I wasn't even going head first into the spot. And I've already started to take up parallel parking space. Yeah. In the vehicle that you would parallel park from. Right. And then he said I had to move up to make space for the truck that passed by. A truck I didn't see. Okay. And I'm like, that don't make sense, my G, because there's no parking on the other side of the street. So I don't see how you moving further up while still staying parallel makes more space for a theoretical truck that has all the space on the whole other side. Right. And he's like, I don't got to explain myself to you. I was like, I don't got to explain myself to you. Because I got the spot. Yeah. And he's like, but it's my spot. And I was like, again, we went through this. And he's like, I'm too old for this. I was like, you keep telling me, but you still here.
Right. Then go away. If you were old, you'd be like, well, fucking youngsters. And then you'd go find another spot.
You'd go find another spot. And he's like, you don't understand. I was here first. I was like, I get that part of it, but you weren't in the spot. That means you were here first and decided against it. Right. I'm here now. Yeah. You made a mistake. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm saying that we're in different places. I'm in the spot. You out the spot. Yo, we was in it, Sha.
Oh, my God.
So he goes back in his car. He sits down. And I see him, like, fume a little bit. Then he comes back. He's like, I'm going to find another spot. I was like, I believe in you.
No, that's the worst. You can't say that.
I said it with, like, just enough of, like, good that, like, I don't know. Like, neither one of us cursed at each other. Because it was, like, aggressive, but also, like, I was just saying facts. Like, I never once said you were an idiot. I never once, like, I never, like, got angry at him. I was just angry that we were both being angry. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, my G. Like, you are clearly not in the spot right now. Yeah. If you want to yell about it, I'll still yell the facts. You know? Like, you're too old to be mad. I'm too old to get into a fight about this physically. But I'm not too old to yell about it. We could yell. You know? We could do this all day. I'm enjoying myself. And I realized that when two people are yelling, the person in the equivalent of a leather reclining position while sitting down usually wins. Like, I think that's what threw him off. That, like, he was, like, pacing back and forth because he had no other option. Whereas because I knew I had the spot, while I was, like, projecting my voice, I looked very relaxed.
Right.
You know, I got the window half down. I got the heated seats going. You know, and he sees it. He said, my shoulders are down. This whole discussion.
When you don't have to change your position, your physical position, then yeah, you do have an upper hand because you're like, I can do this from here. Because I'm not going anywhere. Because I feel like a lot of arguments, you know, there's a lot of stuff where there's somebody seated somewhere and they're like, I'm not moving. There's somebody in a space where they're like, I'm immovable. And people just orbiting them, trying to get them to move. And I'm just going, no. And that's just what a lot of arguments are. Even if it's physically not happening that way, the argument itself is usually someone just like, you're not going to change this.
Yeah.
And others trying to get them to change and that person being like, nah.
That's not what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds to me like he didn't realize, or he maybe zipped by the spot too fast.
Yeah.
Or he saw it and then he stopped like, maybe I can fit in there. And in the meantime, you went ahead. And so then it's like, wait, but you gotta take that L on that one.
That's
yeah.
It.
Yeah.
It's a big city,
like,
baby.
Yeah.
Go find spots elsewhere. You know, you could city bike. You know, there's other options.
You don't have to do all that. Yeah, but also, I'm too old for this. I don't know if that hits like you want it to.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, I'm pretty sure we're about the same age, my G.
Right, exactly. So that's a weird kind of. I don't know if it's a flex or a diss. I don't know what you're attempting to do with it. But I'm too old for this is also, that's an inner monologue.
Yeah.
Just because Danny Glover says it in Lethal Weapon doesn't mean he wasn't saying it to, he was just saying it like can you believe this shit? I'm too old for this. Like he was talking to himself. It was out loud, but he was talking to himself on that.
Yeah.
That should have been muttered to yourself while you were walking to your car to move it to try and find another space.
Yeah. You need to convince you of that, okay?
Yeah.
Not me. You know, I'm here. I'm in the spot, my G.
Let me tell you something. The parking lot rules of like pulling ahead in a spot while someone's trying to pull into, like, and this is only if the spaces are like a straight up grid and not on a diagonal. If they're, you know, just a straight up grid and you are trying to turn into a spot, but someone has turned into the spot that's connected but across from it and they're pulling forward. So it looks like they backed into the spot, but they didn't. Instead, they pulled forward. So their car is facing forward while all the other cars are facing the other way.
Yeah.
But it's still on the same lane. And you try to, you don't see that person coming through. You just see an empty spot. So you try to pull in. So now both of you are half in a spot, but they're also half in another spot. It's ridiculous because you're just like, hey, man, I'm getting ready to pull into the spot. And they're like, but I was pulling up into a spot. And I'm always like, but you got a spot behind you. You're halfway in another spot. Fucking back it up. You're not going to get to, you know what I mean? Like you can't be in two spots talking about, but I want this one. You got one. You're being greedy. You in it. You so in it. You're in mine. Back it up. Just back it up. We're not doing this, you know?
It's too early. We both got to get the BJs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, come on, get out of here. You know.
My only concern is like the show we were doing. I know was probably the only thing popping in that neighborhood, and it sat like 400 people. So
right.
I was like,
I bet he's gonna be in there.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna see this dude, and like I ain't a small dude, but he was an equally big dude. Right. So like it wasn't that I would necessarily win or lose. Is that I knew that if I won, it was going to be a thing.
Was he there?
No, thankfully, or at least if he did, he ain't interrupt my show. Like he let me do my set. But
okay, all right.
I mean, he might have still been looking for parking.
There was a big dude there, but he was not too old for that. There was a big dude there, but he would have been the right age for exactly that.
Yeah, after the whole time he was saying it, I was becoming more convinced. I was like, no, this is about right for you.
No, this is absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're too old for this, you're too old to drive.
Yeah.
This is a big part of driving.
Especially in New York, my G.
Yeah.
Thing.
So if you're too old for this, you might need to leave the city.
My man, it's not your time. I was excited because I hadn't done that in a while. So I was almost like, oh, thank you.
Yay,
like, you
New
know,
York's
like
back.
Yeah, baby, sharpen the sword a little bit, you know, like, oh,
Oh my goodness.
I felt great. I was like, I got to this. I don't think I've been happier going into a show in years.
That's so funny.
It felt great. I'm like, oh yeah, we here. I called my wife up, like, yo, honey, this is going great. It was my mom's birthday. That's all I talked about at the dinner. I caught up with my family after. I was like, yo, you don't know. I got this spot from this dude. And he kept telling me he too old for it. Man, he must have muttered that to himself for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Just like I'm just slamming his door and grabbing his keys and everything. Oh man.
Oh man. Good luck to yourself out there. I hope you find that spot, my G.
May you always find your spot. But also, sir, if you are listening, just line your side mirrors up, man. Don't pull up too far. If you have an idea, if you think, slow down, assess it, know your car, your car, and then line up those mirrors and then start to whip it, at least start to whip in. And then if it don't work, go ahead and pull away.
Yo,
I've done that plenty. But if I don't know the car and I'm like, I wonder if I can make it, I try, and then I'm like, nah. And then I go and try and find something else. But
exactly. I start signaling like halfway into the spot to the car behind me to let them know, yo, I might be taking this.
I'm put waving the hazards you around.
I'm letting you know. On. Like,
this is my, I'm not, if I'm 2 cars up, I'm gone. I decided it wasn't for me.
You lost it. It's over.
Or I'm just like, oh, damn, there was a spot. And then I keep going. Like, I accept. Okay.
Exactly. I accept the L. Like, that's just what happens, Nah, B. It's over, homie. You lucky I ain't want to get out of my car. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It happens. Yeah. Great Gastor victories. Let's get into the news.
Gastor victories.
Tumbleweeds take over Colorado couple's property like a horror movie, they say. Colorado couple said they were living a horror movie after their property became inundated with tumbleweeds. Their Colorado Springs area property, including the front yard and driveway, has been submerged with tumbleweeds since Sunday following strong winds over the weekend, making them feel helpless. It's a horrible situation, like a horror film. It's very eerie and very creepy, she added. A high wind warning was in effect over the weekend for much of southern Colorado, with some areas seeing wind gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. Gross said she and her husband experienced something similar about 10 years ago, but not nearly as bad as this. She said tumbleweeds are so high that they come up to the windows of their home, and they have been unable to open the front door. Trees on their property are there. The trees on their property are also filled with tumbleweeds. There's a mountain, and I mean a mountain, on the right side of the driveway. The tumbleweeds enclosed the couple's car and blocked their access to the road. I kind of panicked, said Gross, who feared she and her husband wouldn't be able to get out. While the neighbors and with the help of neighbors and volunteers, they were able to mow the tumbleweeds to clear a part of the road and a path along their driveway. But Gross said that another neighbor was also covered with the tumbleweeds as well. But El Paso County residents, while they've been reporting troubles with the tumbleweeds, unfortunately, it's going to kind of be on them because the county does not remove tumbleweeds from private property, said Stewart, who is the El Paso County spokesperson. Unfortunately, the plant is widespread and beyond control, as it is found in every state in the U.S. except for Alaska and Florida. Fun fact.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say right now that when people think of tumbleweeds, I think they're thinking of a cute little tumbleweed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like it maybe comes up as high as your shin, right? There are photos. Let me tell you something. I don't know. I guess maybe they all just banded together and grew, or if this is like one huge, you know what I mean? Like if they like linked it up, or if they all just climbed on top. This is truly like 7 feet of tumbleweed.
Yeah, no, these they could square up with these tumbleweeds.
Yeah, like these are like, this is covering the front of her door, like the front of the house. Like legit. This is terrifying. And also, are they like thick? Do they have thorns? Like, I don't know, but I'm sure they don't feel good.
Yeah.
And
no, like I would have moved out of the parking spot for this tumbleweed. Like this shit is diesel.
Yeah, you get the spot. You
Yeah,
get the
you got
spot,
that, my man.
absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, that is I didn't know that they could do that. I really thought they just stayed small and just rolled through. I don't know, I guess I never thought about a tumbleweed hitting a wall and then just building up and building up and building up.
Yeah.
And now I can't get food and I can't see my car.
Yo, B. Stay in New York, baby. We don't got tumbleweeds out here, baby. Not in the
Well,
city.
not New York City. And
Yeah.
honestly, we got raccoons. I bet there's a tumbleweed or two somewhere. Honestly, the rats probably don't even let the weeds start to tumble before they're like doing stuff with them.
Hell yeah.
Like there's a lot of vermin. But I bet you get out into the country, out into the country of New York State, and there are probably tumbleweeds. Not like that though.
Nah. Yo, shout out to New York City rats. Know what I mean, doing what y'all do out there, breaking
No.
down the tumbleweeds.
No, that's not enough. That's not enough.
I get a bad rep, man, but y'all doing good things.
We're on islands. That also may have something to do with there not being tumbleweeds. I'm not really ready to clap it up for the rats just yet. I think really like they got to save my life. Like I need them. It's got to be more personal than maybe they disrupt the tumbleweed. I need them. I need a more concrete reason to tip my hat to the rat, I think, ultimately. And then that's on a rat by rat basis. It's not going to be all of you. It's not going to be all of you.
Nah, all y'all rats, fuck y'all, but Tim. Tim is cool.
Yeah, Tim is good. Tim helped me with a car problem I had. Yes.
Oh, man. In other news, Arizona woman sues the city after arrest for feeding the homeless. Norma Thornton spent almost 20 years running a restaurant in Alaska before retiring to Arizona with her husband in 2017. With more time in her hands, she started cooking hot meals and giving them to the homeless population around Bullhead City. In time, her charitable activities attracted attention from other quarters, the police. Thornton was arrested in March for violating a city ordinance passed last year that prohibits the sharing of prepared food in public parks. Now she's suing Bullhead City, alleging the city law violates her 14th Amendment right to engage in charitable acts. The 78-year-old grandmother told CBS that she should be allowed to share food with the less fortunate, no matter the place. This case is about kindness. Bullhead City has criminalized kindness. The lawsuit is $1 per violation. One of her lawyers, Suranj Jan Sen of the Institute of Justice, claims Bullhead's ban unfairly targets Thornton, who has been feeding the homeless since 2018. In court documents filed Wednesday, the lawsuit alleges the ban prohibits giving food to the homeless in a park, but allows anyone to have a birthday party and feed dozens of people.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. So in other words, a person can give out food to their friends, but cannot give the exact same food to someone they're trying to help. Thornton's lawyers want a federal judge to strike down Bullhead's law and force the city to pay their client $1 for every instance where her constitutional rights were violated.
Oh boy. I mean, this seems to be a fight about the principality, but this is the kind of thing that has to happen.
Yeah.
Because that is insane. You can't have prepared food in a public park.
Yo, that's mad.
That don't even sound right. Like you lying.
Yeah, somebody does. Yo, one of y'all fucked up, and like the whole police department is just
now
holding you down now. But like,
yeah,
they know that's a lie.
But that is the kind of thing that like, these weird little laws that are put into place that are it's about the cruelty, absolutely. So they're just weird like this. I'm reading this thing and it says anyone can share food at a public park as long as it's sealed prepackaged food readily available from retail outlets and intended for consumption directly from the package, the city said. But if someone wants to serve prepared hot food, they must first obtain a permit and food handler's license. It's not a restaurant, it's a park. If I want to make a burger away, this isn't even like you can't cook in the park. This isn't, which is its own thing. This is if I cooked food somewhere else and I brought it with me to the park and wanted to eat it. No. I have to go to a grocery store and buy something that's fully wrapped, sealed, prepackaged. Like, that's bullshit. You know it's bullshit.
Straight up.
And it's so mean. And I'm sure that I don't know what Bullhead City looks like, like their population, but I have a feeling that I bet people that the people there are probably doing okay.
Yeah.
Financially, they're probably doing okay.
Getting by, you know, you chilling.
Getting by, you know, and so anything that what's being done for the homeless population there if this woman is not feeding them. Like, what's their plan then? If she can't feed them, can the city? Who's feeding them? How's that going to work?
You know, and maybe you're not seasoning it right. Maybe they go to Miss Story because she got
she got the restaurant skills. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she ran a restaurant. Down. Yeah. So there's that. Like, how are you? What's going on then? What's really going on?
They deserve home cooking. You know what I mean? Also, fun fact, the Bullhead mayor is named Tom Brady. So I just think he's having
you know what? All Tom Brady's are really going through it. It's a good thing that our comedian buddy Tom Thakkar changed his name from Tom Brady.
You know what I mean?
Man, he really dodged a bullet there.
Oh man. Finally, Chick-fil-A introduces a 3-day work week, and people think it's the best idea ever. That's right. Chick-fil-A in Florida now lets workers cram all of their hours needed for a full-time schedule in just 3 days. And the near universal reaction seems to be, why didn't we think of that? To be clear, this is just one Chick-fil-A location, and the 3-day schedule is optional. It translates into a full-time employment with benefits because the Chick-fil-A employee who opt in are putting in 13 to 14 hours per day on those 3 consecutive days. The employees are organized into 2 pods, working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 2 weeks, and then switching together to Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the next 2 weeks. Chick-fil-A, as you know, is closed on Sundays. The trade-off, flexibility in exchange for some very long hours at Chick-fil-A on the days that they do work. But those who've opted in seem to love the schedule. Justin Lindsay, the Chick-fil-A owner-operator who came up with the idea, told me in an interview week that it was designed to reduce burnout, increase employee retention, and demonstrate more generous leadership.
Okay. All right. That is, let me just say off top.
Okay.
We know about the evils of Chick-fil-A.
Right.
About the guy who owns it and where they have donated money and all of that. Even in spite of the people that I have known to work at Chick-fil-A who have been queer, who have been Black and church going, and that they paid for they contributed to like the education fund for a couple of cousins of mine.
Okay.
You know, like, it's like evil, but then in the individual stores, good can happen. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you balance that? And so, yes, they are absolutely the worst. And if you are boycotting them and you're continuing to do so, like,
props.
Great.
Yeah.
Props. Absolutely. And I want to be stronger. And I think now I only eat it when I'm in Atlanta because there's literally one on every corner. So it's and I don't feel great about it, but I also don't feel bad enough. And I don't know how, like, if you are now like, man, fuck Shalewa, that's fair.
That's fair.
I get it.
It happens.
That's fair. It happens. But also if you are shopping at any grocery store,
yeah,
I don't know. You may gotta, I don't know.
You can find something with every place at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You can. So that's not like a defending myself. I'm just saying that's the way of the world. Evil is everywhere.
Yeah.
To live a relatively evil-free life, it's tough.
Word up.
It's tough. It's very tough. Yeah, it's very hard. But now, 13, 14 hours in a Chick-fil-A.
That's diesel, yo.
That is wild. But also I wonder if it's a thing where it's like once you're in that rhythm, just fucking knock it out.
Yeah, I think that works. Real
I
talk.
think, yeah, I can see where if you're that kind of person where you're like, you've been doing it for like 8 hours, you know what I mean? I'm sure
Yeah.
you get a couple of breaks
Right.
where you get like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and then probably another 15 to just kind of get off your feet and not be around it. And then you power up and go through it because they're not open late. Most of them
Right.
are done by like 10. Back in the day, they used to close at like 9:30, which meant it was a real scramble to get there. They really made you work for it. It closed on Sunday. They're open, but they closed at 9:30 at a weird time. And you're like, wait, yeah, like it's, yeah, like you have to be, and it's good that, the people who like doing that, like, are like, yeah, let's just knock this out. And then I have 4 days to be a person.
Yeah. That's
You
honestly why
know?
I'm a fan of this. Like, I'm with you in terms of like when I think about working 13, 14 hours anywhere, that's a lot.
Mhm.
But this isn't something that the manager was like, I need you to do this. This was
Right.
his employees saying, yo, we would appreciate this. So
Mhm.
I rock with that. When you listen to your staff saying, hey, we want to be full time, but having the option of a 4-day work off, 4 days
Right.
off a week is fire. And
Mhm.
I can't knock that. It's kind of dope. And it's not even like you're getting 4 days off every once in a while. You're building that into your schedule forever, right?
Yeah.
You rotate what 3 days you work, but you will always have 4 days off in a row every week. That's
Right.
kind of dope, you know?
Yeah.
Not to mention the commute day you save, right? You save 1
Mhm.
to 2 days of commuting,
Right.
right? So that's time you get back because now you only got to commute 3 days instead of 4 to 5. I would assume your commutes are easier because at the very least going home when they close, less traffic. Maybe in the morning you
Right.
got traffic,
Yeah.
but on the way back, that commute is faster. To
Mhm.
your point, you kind of get into a zone,
Yep.
where like, yo, this is 3 days and then I don't got to think about this place for 4 days.
Yeah.
Kind of
I mean,
fire.
like there are nurses with that schedule.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like they
straight
work
up.
like 12, 13, 14-hour schedules, like 3 days in a row,
And
4
then they
days in a
stun
row.
on
And then
IG from some random country.
right,
Straight up.
exactly. Yeah.
Yo.
So we're probably talking about the same nurse. But yeah. Like, but yeah, like that is, once you're in that mindset, you can just kind of go with it.
Yeah. 2
Like,
days you don't got to think about babysitters.
right.
Like there's so many W's to this.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, if that is how you're cut, and I understand being cut in that way, I've definitely had some jobs where I'm just there still working. And they're
Yeah.
like, weren't you supposed to leave like 2 hours ago? And you're like, yeah, but I started doing this thing and I want to finish it.
Yeah. I'm in the zone.
I'm just here. I'm just doing the thing. Let me just keep going. And yeah, so like, I get when you are, especially Chick-fil-A, it just moves so quickly, perhaps as well. And if that's not for you, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like this person who is running this particular store has thought this through and is like, okay, here are some options that aren't normally offered that may actually help you out.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to my employees, and here are ways to look at it that kind of jive with who works there.
That's what I love. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That phrase, what you said there is, to me, key to good management. Listen to their employees. Like
Yeah.
that's active, like listening, like, oh, word, y'all really need this. I'm gonna still be fully staffed and covered. Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Offered it up, got buy-in from the staff, people liking it. All the reasoning behind it are employee centric. They don't get burnt out. They get more free time. And in turn, your product ends up better because you have people that are happier and want to stay there.
Right.
That's a lot of W's right there.
The last sentence in this piece is, Lindsay said one employee asked him when he first shared the news of the program, what do I do when I'm not here? Like, I can do whatever I want? Isn't that wild?
Yo.
Because there's something to like working a couple of days and then you get a day off, but then you got to go back the next, like you just spend the whole time just like, dreading because you can't even enjoy your one day off because you got to go back.
Not
And
here, baby.
Yeah, and that's something, especially at Chick-fil-A, where Sunday is a definite day off.
Right.
And then your other day off could be at any point. Who knows what the other day off is? So you don't even get like 2 days off in a row to really enjoy. So yeah, this is good for that.
Low key,
I don't know.
if this was, I would work at a place like this. This is fire.
I could see you being the kind of person who could just put in like 13 or 14 hours and then just being like, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's my 12 hours and now I'm gone.
I catch y'all later. I still would, real talk, if there's, I loved packing out trucks at UPS. Like I had a blast doing that shit. You get in the zone, you kind of get into a rhythm. It becomes like a video game. It's like live Tetris. Like I love that shit.
Absolutely.
And the only reason I don't do it is because I'm a comic. And I know that not even the hours, because that shit was like 3 to 9 in the morning. So the hours are fine with me. It's the fact that if I have a road gig, I can't be like, yo, I'm going to be gone for 2 days.
Yeah.
And if they were fine with the fact that like, I'm going to show up 85% of the time. I'll even tell you when I'm going to be absent ahead of time, but I am going to be absent. I'll never take a sick day because I'll build it in with this. But yeah, I would do it for fun. Like I sincerely had a blast. It's just I know you're gonna get mad at me because I'm a bang out like of the 20 work days. I'm a miss 3 every month.
Right.
I got shows. But I love jobs like that. They let you kind of zone out a little bit. And you kind of just work, you move. I don't know. And I end up coming up with jokes, like creative stuff, because I'm in that space.
Right, exactly.
I love that stuff.
You just start your brain, as your body's doing the thing, your brain starts going elsewhere and it's weird, but you actually do come up with a lot of stuff when you're having to do that shit.
Yeah. There was when I worked at the UPS on Foster in Brooklyn, there was this dude that was loading trucks next to me. And he like brainstormed the import-export business while bullshitting with me. Like he was like I forgot like how we ended up on it, but he was like, I know somebody that like deals with like Asian products. Like he would bring in like ginseng and all these other natural goods into the country. I should look into doing that. And then like every day for like a week, he was just telling me like, yo, I looked into this a little bit more. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could do this. I left for like a year. I come back a year later. He's like, yeah, I work here for health benefits, but I made like $8 million off of that shit. I was like, you for real? Yo, Dad. He's like, yo, I'm killing it. He's like, I made crazy money. He's like, when we leave the UPS depot, go see my car. That dude was loading trucks, making like $13 an hour, and he was driving a freaking like the Max BMW, like a 100K car. And he's like, yeah, I bought that shit in cash. He's like, I am having incredible success, but he's like, I was already in the union, so I got like the best health benefits here. I get a workout. I'm coming in. It's like my gym time,
that's
and
hilarious.
Straight up, he's like, I crushed that shit. He's like, I'm up like 8 M's. He's like, I got 2 houses. He's like, invite me. You should come visit in Florida. I came up with the idea next to you. Like, no doubt. Shouts to Marvin. Yo, my man, he's still over there. Real talk. Yeah, that shit was inspiring.
Yo, I'm inspired by Marvin. Absolutely.
Yo, that shit was wild, B.
That's really impressive.
And for our listeners that were hurt, I am still not eating at Chick-fil-A, admittedly, just because I don't like the food. But
yeah, I truly am. I hate to say it out loud. I usually eat it under the cover of darkness, but I have been to Chick-fil-A since the word on the street was that there are also, yeah, I don't know. Everybody's giving money to somebody, I guess. I don't know. I wish I could justify it better, but I can't. I don't know, man.
I'm a Popeyes person.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's not like the chicken part of it. I don't care about the fried chicken. I usually get like a grilled chicken something anyway. Grilled chicken nuggets or something. I like the waffle fries. For me, it is a food that when I was going through a lot of stress, it's an alternative to hamburgers for one. So I was like, already that's good. So it's just like a general hamburger, but it's chicken. And then when I was going through a lot of stress amongst my parents passing away, and I'm having to go back and forth to Atlanta from New York, and doing very lonely things and staying in a hotel room and just like processing that stuff.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, fucking grilled nuggets and waffle fries kept me like grounded, or just like, here you go, here, just calm down, breathe, and have a lemonade. Like it was
that's beautiful.
In a way, like, yeah, like, I don't know. We don't talk enough about fast food as a weird coping mechanism. Not in a way of just shoveling it in, but in a way of just like being a touchstone of being a part of your life for a long time, so that when there's times of trouble, you know that this is going to taste like a thing that it's always tastes like, and how sometimes that's like, ew, gross, but sometimes that's very necessary.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me. And that's usually when I find myself in some sort of weird mental space, and it turns out there's a Chick-fil-A nearby, I will grab something just to like, okay, remember what you were like as a person, and then I can remember, and then move accordingly. It sounds, I don't know if it sounds wild or not, but I think if you think back on some of the foods, your comfort foods, it's not always going to be something that your mom made. Sometimes, like we talked about on the last episode about Prego and Chef Boyardee and all that shit. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it. If you would like
me to find a better comfort food.
All you gotta do is like subscribe to the show, baby.
Whatever. Y'all eating everybody talks about Taco Bell, like blah, blah, blah. That's all that shit is for you too. That shit is trash. And y'all talk about it like it's the best thing in the world. It's not. It's just what you ate as a teenager that keeps you okay. That's all that shit was.
If you are Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You still eat at Taco Bell today. Okay.
You do. You know
what I mean? There's better tacos in your neighborhood. You know better.
You know better.
Leave it for those rare moments when you're feeling down.
Yes.
That's what it's there for. Okay.
It's for dopamine.
That's
boost.
it.
It's not for dinner. It's not for dinner. It's for dopamine.
5 stars. You know better. Okay. And hopefully your kids have this relationship with Chipotle or Panera Bread.
Right, yeah.
You're in a better place in life,
Yeah, I hope that that sweet green salad is the touchstone for your kids.
Let them do some kale, emotional attachment to kale is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo. We're at Gastor Almonte. Shouts to sweet to Lori McDaniel. Always appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am admittedly attached to McDonald's double cheeseburgers. Specifically, I hate the McDouble. That one slice of cheese shit just doesn't cut it. I need to fill
wow.
2 slices, okay?
Okay, all right.
The 30-cent savings ain't doing it, okay? Take my 30 cent, give me the slice of cheese.
Okay.
Gastor Almonte, always with the should pivot to Popeyes, but she's attached to what she's attached to.
No, because Popeyes, Chick-fil-A don't make me take a shit every time.
That's fair.
So Popeyes tears up my stomach. And also when it comes to like fried chicken in like a fried chicken way, I like Mrs. Winners, and those are gone. So, and that was an excellent fried chicken, and the rest of it to me is no good. When I go to Popeyes, I get their shrimp.
Ooh, slept on too. I agree.
Yeah, so that's a thing. But I will counter your double cheeseburger from McDonald's with a double cheeseburger from Burger King.
Oh, solid.
That's a better. I think we are sleeping on Burger King's burgers. They are actually better, but they don't have a clown. That fucking King ain't gonna do it like the clown does.
He don't hit. He don't hit.
So
he needed a name. That was his issue.
Yeah, that's true. He was just the Burger King.
That's not enough. B. You ain't thinking through.
But they're double cheeseburgers.
They hit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the milkshake machine always works. I'm always a fan of that.
Okay, that's good.
So they do good work over there. Shouts to Burger King. Keep it moving. You know what I mean? Before it shut down, the Burger King at the Conduit in Brooklyn saw me regularly. Okay? This has been an unhealthy episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.